Hey everyone, today's vlog I'm going to show you how you can find and use resources even if you don't speak German whatsoever. There have been a lot of tools that have come out in the last couple of years and I'm excited to show you. Let's go take a look. A lot of us are familiar with things like Google Translate, where you can just copy and paste text in and have it translate to the language that you want it to, which is cool. But what if I told you you could do this in browser? And maybe Google Chrome would be a good solution for you. So let's take a look at what I'm able to do here. This is just an article that I dug up on the 30 Years' War. And by right-clicking anywhere on the page, I'm able to translate the entire thing into English. So I'm able to read it almost as accurately as it should be. Google has gotten pretty good at doing this within the last couple of years. So this is a great way to be able to read more and understand a lot of the history that isn't translated yet into English. Likewise, I could do it to... I gotta accept some cookies here, I guess. I could do it to another web page as well, and I don't have to copy and paste anything in. It'll translate for me, and if I want to know the original context, let's say that I'm curious, something seems worded weird, I could go back to the original German, I could copy it, and I could paste it back into Google Translate and understand more about the context. I could actually dig in a little bit more too. Let's say it's just this first sentence. I could dig in and understand a word-by-word translation of it. It doesn't seem to look like it's doing that right now, but it is possible to do it. So how can we do this? If you go to Google and just type in download Google Chrome, you can go to the first link. Make sure that it says google.com, Chrome. You can even check up in your address bar. It should be /Chrome. And you'll just download it and install it. You can uncheck that. You don't need to use that. But this is a feature that's built into Google. There are other browser add-ons you can use, but this seems to be the easiest and quickest to do. Let's take a look at a few other quick tricks. What else has Google done in the last year that really helps out? There are a lot of accounts of the Flucht and Vertreibung, or the flight and expulsion, that happened just following World War II. And a lot of them are in their native language. It's in German, which is great if you understand it. I'm proficient at it, but there's still, when people speak quickly, it's difficult to understand. Some people don't even have that ability. And so I want to be able to help anybody be able to access this information. And this doesn't just apply to German videos that need to be translated in English. If you find a Brazilian video on YouTube that talks about Pommern, you're able to translate that as well. So let's take a look.
Auf die Wagen. Ja, und dann haben wir noch ein letztes Mal Abendbrot gekocht und dann sind wir aus dem Hause gegangen.
So if you didn't understand what that was talking about, what you can do is hover over closed captioning. And when you turn that on, it's going to give you auto-translated captions. At first, it's just going to give it to you in the native language, which appears to be German. And instead of having it translate to German, you can have it auto-translate to... Let's do English. Like I said, this can apply to any language, so if maybe you're a German speaker and you're not understanding an English video, you can do the exact same thing and have it translate pretty accurately. I mean, it's still got a little bit of a hiccup here and there.
Ich bin da rumgelaufen, habe die Leute ermahnt, tut nicht zu viel auf die Wagen. Ja, und dann haben wir noch ein letztes Mal Abendbrot gekocht und dann sind wir aus dem Hause gegangen und haben es offen gelassen, weil es...
And as you can see, you can actually read more of what's going on. If you are familiar with the German language, you'll be able to pick out a few things that might not be in the correct context, but this helps break down that language barrier. Now, one final trick. Let's say you have an article, it's a PDF, you can't copy the text, maybe you found it in a book. There's a couple ways to get around this. If it's a PDF that you've downloaded, stolp.de actually has a lot of really cool resources to them. So we're just going to use one of theirs, super quick. And you can change some of these settings if you need to. Just leaving them a default should help out with this. What this is called is OCR, and this is just text recognition. Make sure that you have it set to German. It'll help it be able to figure out the umlauts especially. And it's going to take just a little bit of time as it scans the document. It's going to take the text that was an image and give you a pretty accurate copy and paste here. So from page 1, from page 2, Control A, copy it, and go into Google Translate, and you're able to paste it in. and be able to read it in English. There's one other thing that you can do with this. Give me just a second, I'll show you. There's lines that are broken up, and sometimes we don't want that because it'll actually mistranslate a sentence that has a break in the middle of it. So we can convert line breaks to nothing, convert paragraphs to single line. Let's give it a go. And it's going to pull out all of those extra spaces and allow you to be able to read it in, with fewer mistakes to it. And this website is called removelinebreaks.net. So it's a really nice trick you can use. And how to get your PDF into text, that is going to be ocr.space. Now for this last one, what I want you to do is go to either the App Store or the Play Store, depends on what device you have, whether it's Google or Apple, and type in Google Translate. And it's going to pull this up. I've already got it, but I'm going to update it anyways, just to kind of show you how you do it. And it's going to download, it's going to install, and when it's done, it's going to open up. It might ask you a few kind of settings that you might need to use. It'll ask you permission here and there. Just go ahead and tap OK for those. Like right here, we're going to tap open. It's going to open it up. And it's already got the last couple that we looked up. And what I'm going to do is use the camera. All right, so the last tool that I'm going to show you is Google Translate. Now, if you've got the app downloaded on your mobile device, you're able to choose the language and have it translate into any number of languages, actually. In this case, I've done this before, so it's already set to do German to English. And even if I order a German book and if I can't read any German, I'm able to use this kind of like glasses. And it'll be able to help me see in translation what it is. Now, it doesn't always function exactly the best, but I'm able to, in real time, be able to do this, or if I lay the page flat, I can hit the scan button instead of using instant. Helps if it's pretty straight on. Let's do that. Then I can actually highlight the words. I could do select all and then read it on the next screen. And this is, it's pretty accurate. It'll actually let me see the text, kind of like we did with the OCR conversion. And it'll allow me to read the full page. And again, maybe there's just a few little, like right there, the I, a couple words that are off. But by and large, this will help you be able to read books that have knowledge of your family's history, or anything that you've purchased online or found in a library. Now, Google Translate also has one other really cool feature, or I guess two really cool features that you can use. One is to be able to use the conversation tool, and if you're with a family member in Germany and you don't speak any German, or they don't speak any English, to kind of get through that language barrier, you can use the conversation feature. You can choose Deutsch, you can choose English, and basically you tap the microphone, and depending on which side you're using, it's going to translate that. You could also have it do auto translate. Because I'm using my microphone right now, it's not going to let me show you how to do that, but this is one really cool feature. It was very helpful when I was in Poland. Only thing that you need to make sure is that you have a decent internet connection. If you don't have Wi-Fi or even like 2 or 3G, this is not going to work out as well, and it could actually, depending on where you're at in Poland, some of the smaller farming villages, it could potentially leave you stranded without a way to communicate. But plan in advance. That extra $10 plan that they have for some international plans is well worth the money. Along with that, Google's also introduced a transcribe feature. I've never really used it much, but I figured I'd throw this in here just for anybody who wants to experiment. Apparently you need a pair of Google Pixel buds, but you can, of course it's having difficulty because I'm using a microphone right now, but you should be able to hit that button and it'll provide a transcription of what's being said. I'm hoping, there's no settings for that yet, but I'm hoping in the future they'll have some sort of the ability to upload. I'm hoping that they'll be able to have some way to upload a pre-recorded audio and have that audio examined, so you don't have to do it in real time. You could record it and then do it later. This has been Chris and Melanie with My Pomerania, trying to bring you some digital tools to help make your research life much easier. And don't forget, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe.